if you're born into a society, you are born into an already scripted culture, an already organized environment. Organized not in the sense of the results, but organized from the current understanding of how the world works. Hi, thank you so much for joining me in this edition of Clear Thinking Digest. So let's explore the process of development for anyone that really wants to live an authentic life. For many people, the question of authentic life really begins with how you make decisions for yourself and the understanding of the forces that come together to create your sense of self. I've explored to a large extent the question of the sense of self in previous videos. You can find those in the link below. But today I want to talk about the importance of unscripting your life and scripting your life. You see, every human being is born into a society. It's a pre-existing culture. And every culture is to a large extent a script that has been written by generations of people. Think of a culture as people's exploration and interpretation of reality as they understand it based on the quality of your mind. So our forefathers, used to interpret the world. At some point, we thought that the earth was the center of the universe. And based on that, our decisions, our policies, and everything that characterized our lives was determined based on that false understanding of how the world works. This understanding of how the world works goes to a large extent, that is from where we create our cultures down to our tradition. Now, if you're born into a society, you are born into an already scripted culture, an already organized environment. Organized not in the sense of the results, but organized from our understanding, from the current understanding of how the world works. But science has shown us that there is no definitive answer as to how the world works. As we go along in the world, as we progress in our lives, our knowledge of the world updates. And at the same time, our culture updates as the knowledge of the world updates. So you're born into a culture, and your culture sets the script for your life. And so the American culture is quite different from the Chinese culture, just as the Nigerian culture is different from Ghanaian culture to some extent. And so these scripts that is written by your culture determines what you define as success, how you define success, how you define pain, how you define pleasure, your goals in life, and to a large extent, almost everything about your life. The people who live authentic life, for you to really live an authentic life, you have to redefine, you have to unscript the definition of how the world works that your culture has handed over to you. Culture allows societies to cooperate and for human beings to really go in the process of evolution. But for you to attain the level of intellectual maturity that you need to push your life forward, to go about your life, once you get to the age of reason, you need to unscript this script that has been written by your culture, and you need to rewrite the script into what you really want for your life. And that is where redefinition really comes in. That is where personal development, more importantly, comes in. Because the process of personal development allows you, personal development as a process of education, as a self-education, really allows you to call to question the customs, the norms, and the understanding, the prevalent understanding and mentality that has defined your culture and your life. It allows you to call to questions those notions, those belief systems that has up until now determined everything that you know. And it's up until you call to questions these things. And we're not talking about here whether or disproving them or not, whether they're true or false, but but really about calling to question, about questioning those things. Because truth, the process of attaining truth begins with questioning as an investigative process. So until you call to questions the beliefs, the norms, the customs, the traditions, the notions, the mental culture that has created your society, you are not going to attain intellectual maturity. And until you do that, that is the only time you can now redefine and script a new culture of mind, a new culture of mind that will now go ahead to set off the path that you're going to pursue in life. So look at it. Look at across history. Every single person that has achieved something huge, something meaningful in their lives, whether as a scientist, as an artist, irrespective of who they are, check across board. Whether you're talking about Nelson Mandela, Albert Einstein, Tesla, Mother Teresa, Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, talk about any person you want to talk about who has really defined a path, who has really defined our world. Look at their lives. At some point, they had to call to question the scripts that has been running their culture, and they had to unscript it and write a new script for their lives. And by so doing, they become leaders. So you have to understand that for you to really go out, for you to really live a meaningful life, an authentic life, you have to lead yourself first. And the process of leading yourself, if you are able to redefine, if you are able to call to questions those beliefs, those pre-existing notions, if you are able to call them to questions and then define a path for yourself, to unscript the pre-existing culture that has created you, and then to script a new path for yourself, you would begin to lead your life. And by so doing, any man that can really define a clear path for himself, that can develop the intellectual maturity to lead his life, we automatically become the leader of the thousands and millions and 99% other people who cannot forge this path for themselves. So you want to understand how you want to look at your life, look at your culture, look at your society. What is the pre-existing script that is determining things? How does this affect your notion of success, of failure? How does it affect every other thing that is happening in your life? And how is it that your activities are being defined by these things, these scripts that has been written by people that you do not even understand up until now? How are these things defining your life? Go back, look at these scripts and begin the process of redefining them. Now the question becomes, how do I go about this? I think the process of redefining, the process of unscripting the script begins with personal development, it begins with study, but more importantly, it begins also with reflection. As you experience life, as you study, as you reflect upon your experiences, you would begin to critically appraise all the scripts that has been written, the script that has been written that is really affecting your life, that is really determining how you're going to go about your life. Thank you so much for joining me in this edition of Clear Thinking Digest. I hope you did learn a lot. I'll see you in the next video.